What's up, guys? Hey, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Good to see all your faces. What's up, Rachel, Alexis? I always love your background. Good to see you. What's happening? Hey, Lisa. Hey, Lloyd. Adria, Mark. Okay, guys, when we do this live every Sunday or every, once a month, we put you guys in Zoom rooms. It takes way more people than you could ever imagine. If you guys were in Zoom room or in Zoom room number 3, there's a weird little audio thing. It's a Zoom issue that's giving people feedback. So if you're in Zoom 3, or you could hear this, go to the YouTube link right now. The team is posting it, and you guys can watch from YouTube while they fix that. But we're live. That's how you know. And it's one of those weird, technology's amazing when it's working perfectly, right? So that's why we added a couple minutes right before we went live. And we try to do this. We could just do this on YouTube, but we take probably 20 employees to make sure that our monthlies are in Zoom, and you have the option to watch it on YouTube or I get to see your beautiful faces. What's up, Brooke and Sandra, Roy and Dawn and Lori and Julia and Julie and Elena and Meredith. What's going on? Hey, first off, welcome. Light it up in the chat. This has been Inner Circle as a part of Mastermind now. So congratulations for being a part of this. I've been doing this for almost a decade. This has been an amazing family where every month, for those of you that are new, we go live on mindset, marketing, and momentum. And it's been an amazing family. I know some of you have been with me 6, 7, 8 years, and we have a bunch of brand new people who just raised their hand since Black Friday and today. Some of you might even got started today, and been over 5 years. Richard, awesome. So if you're a first timer, put it in the chat. And for the first timers, this family, why don't we welcome the first timers and say what's up and welcome to our world. I do a lot of different trainings. But Inner Circles is really near and dear to my heart, and you'll see sometimes I get to be like different people, right? If I'm on stage, or if I'm doing a monthly training, or if I'm doing a challenge, or if I'm doing something with Project Next Level, and all these different things. But Inner Circle kind of feels like family to me, because I've been doing it every month for so long. It's a cadence. So no, I probably share stuff here that I don't share anyplace else. I kind of talk in a different way, more casual. I share some personal stuff, but just know every month, these are my notes for today, right? Every month I get obsessed on what I can deliver to you in that moment that fits right now. It's why I do it live. I don't just push a training that I've done before. This is live. I know a lot of you will be watching the replay. Room 3 is good. Awesome. We got it fixed. So now I can feel good about everybody having the same experience. But I go live on marketing, mindset, or momentum on what's happening right now, right? The world's in a different place today than it was just 6 weeks ago or 6 months ago. Can we agree? Conversations you're having today at the dinner table are a little different today, right, Lloyd, than they were just 6 months ago. So I want to address what's going on now with the mindset. Now, if I teach you marketing, how do you market in a different world? How do you message in a different world? How do you grow a business in a different world? How do you start a business in a different world? And how do you get the mindset for what's going on right now? Now, today, I'm excited. What I want to share today is, if you saw my theme of last week, who had a chance to watch my cell phone videos last week? Anybody see those? I've been having this feeling of how do we get a rolling start, right? I talk about it as a boy. When I was a kid, I used to race snowmobiles. So I was always like, when you race snowmobiles, it was drag racing. And as a crazy, young boy, I didn't have a lot of money, but I used to work on my snowmobile obsessively. I'd work and I'd take the money and put it in my snowmobile, and then I'd drag race on the weekends. And if you ever watch drag racing, it's like red, yellow, and when you hit the green, that's when you hit the gas and go. And that's still in my head. Sometimes I pull to a red light and I'm waiting for it to turn green because I want to be the first one off. Just stupid men stuff, right? But I always do think about a rolling start. No one can ever keep up with you if you have a rolling start. What's up, Dennis Lloyd? Good to see you, man. It's always good to have a rolling start, meaning if there's 5 cars parked at a red light and your lane has nothing in it and you're moving and all of a sudden it turns green before you stop, there's no way that the cars that were stopped dead could keep up with you. True? Right? Because you had the rolling start. That's the way I look at this time of year. We just had Thanksgiving if you're here in the States, and we have Christmas and New Year's. A lot of times we wait until January to say, let's go. I think that's like being stopped at the light. You got to try to get the New Year's resolution and get the momentum. I feel now is the time we create an unfair advantage to get a rolling start. So when January comes, man, we're out in front going 100 miles an hour. And I believe we need a rolling start today more than ever before in history, right? We are in a recession, and they predict 2023 is going to be a little rough, right? But it's only rough if you have the mindset of it being rough, if you're looking for obstacles, not opportunity, if you're letting the outside world affect you rather than us affecting the outside world. We could be stifled, lose our confidence, and not focus on our goals and dreams anymore in a shifting world. Or we could be amongst the few that rise above, gain new capabilities, and learn to thrive in this shifting world. So who's ready to thrive in this shifting world and get a rolling start, right? So that's why we're here together. That's why we're here. We're here. The reason I go live every month, and for those of you that are new, seriously, I welcome you to this amazing family. This is just one part of the Mastermind membership. It's going to blow you away on what we're doing as part of this family. This monthly training for almost a decade was like $97 a month just for this, and everybody absolutely loved it. Now we rolled it into Mastermind. Before we get started today, Mike, could you pull this up? Pull up this slide. I just want to make sure you guys are aware, right? If you're on here, you're a part of Mastermind, and every month there's a brand new course that gets released. We just released Brennan Bouchard's course on persuasion. And then I want to make sure you know when you get here, you have a calendar of events, but go over there to see where it says click here to download this month's calendar. I just want you guys to know it's there because I'd hate for you to miss what we're having. And that's, my team creates this for you every month, the month ahead in Mastermind. So it tells you on December 5th, 12th, 19th, and that's me going live every Monday in the Facebook group. You get that as a member. On December 15th, Tony's course, Time of Your Life, will be released, which will blow your mind. It's one of my favorites, so I'm so glad we're releasing that for you. On December 21st will be the next Inner Circle, next one of these, so keep scrolling. So that shares that. And then go to the next one, Mastermind Past and Future. And then it shows that November, we had Persuasion with Brendan, Momentum Hacks, Inner Circle, Momentum Hacks. And then January, we have a training with Jenna Kutcher and myself. I don't know if you guys know Jenna. She's freaking awesome. So that'll be released in January. And we'll do some big time goal setting. So just so you know, that's always there so you can see the month ahead. That's good. You could take that down, Mike. And remember, new course every month. You have the library of inner circles. If I was you guys, I would be going through an inner circle every week. We get a live one every month, but the other three weeks of the year, you can go back and schedule and find an inner circle that matches. Maybe you want to do marketing one day. Maybe you want to do, scaling your business or learn how to do a launch or getting through anxiety and things like that. It's always cool to have access to those. So just wanted to share that. All right, today. No gray shirt today, Robin. I'm trying to break out here. My wife's like, it's been about 10 years. You wear the same shirts every day. Could you mix it up a little? So I figure for the holidays, I'll be festive and just wear some of the stuff my wife buys me. So today I was thinking, and this is how I always think every month in this particular training, is what do I need right now? What's allowing me to thrive right now? What has helped some of my clients that I consult for? What helps them move the needle the most? And that's what I decided to do today. In fact, I have about 10 I want to go through so we could start building this rolling start. You guys ready to have some rapid fire training on 10 topics? Ugly Christmas sweater. I did that like 3 years ago for my wife as well. So maybe that'll come in to play. So this morning, I used to get up at 5. This is stuff maybe some of you don't care, but I used to wake up at 5 every day. Then it went to like 4:45. Now it's like 4:15. I don't know what's going. The older I get, but I actually love it. So I got up by 4:30 this morning. I was geeking out exactly what 10 pieces I wanted to share with you, and I can't wait to share that. Before I do, I always end up telling a family story that relates to, not always, but if there's something that relates to this. I love looking through the lens of a 16-year-old or a 14-year-old because sometimes, can we admit, we need some of those simple lessons right? We get stuck in life. We get stuck with being a parent, a mom, a dad, an uncle, a cousin, a grandparent, an owner or an operator or business and life. And it's like we lose focus of the little things. So for those of you that know, those of you who don't, you'll know my daughter has been pitching. She's 16. She's been pitching since she was about 11. I catch for her once or twice a week. She's broke my toe. I just was telling, I have some team members in here. I broke my toe about a year ago, broke my foot about 6 months ago. She throws fast now. She's 16 and it's fast and it's only 42 feet. And I'm probably 6 months away from saying I can't catch for you anymore. It's dangerous, right? So anyway, my daughter's been pitching and she had a couple issues. She had surgery on her knee. She got water in her knee. She got a little cyst she had to get removed and she had to take off a couple months at a time. She just took off 5 months because of the surgery and now she's back at it. And you lose 5 months at that time. She's kind of working her way back. Does that make sense? So I'm telling you this story for a reason because I think we all need to hear it. And this is not a story of 6 years ago. This is a story of last night. So last night, I'm driving my daughter to softball practice and she says to me, Dad, I think I want to quit softball, out of the blue. And I think she was expecting me to be upset. And I was like, okay. Why? She's like, well, you know, I just don't feel like I'm that into it. And I knew it was deeper than that. So I want you to hear me. This is a story about my daughter, but it's for all of us. I said, I know that's not true, but I said, okay. I said, what else are you thinking? I said, because you got to be in a sport. That was my whole gig with you. I don't care which one, you got to be in a sport. She's like, maybe I'll take up tennis. I'm like, okay. I said, she's like, I want to be on a school sport. I'm like, okay, but let me just ask you, I'm guessing the kids that are on this tennis team, they've been playing since they were 8 or 9. So do you really think you could make up that distance in a short period of time? You're in 10th grade, right? And then she mentioned volleyball. I'm like, do you think there's girls that have been playing volleyball since like 9 or 10 years old? And how can you really shorten that curve? And she's like, then maybe I'll stick with softball. I knew what she was saying. She goes, maybe I'll stick with softball, you know, because I had my knee and I was out and I feel like I'm not as good as the people around me. And she said, maybe I'll play first base. I'm like, just being honest. I said, I think there's a girl on the high school team that's been probably playing first since she was in 2nd grade. Do you think you could beat her in that short period of time? And she's like, oh, and then I knew I got to, she's like, Dad, oh, I just don't know if I'm good enough to play. Now she started all of her games last year in JV, but she's getting bumped up to varsity this year, right? So she's, and here's what I said to her. I said, kid, if you want to quit, I got your back. I'm not going to be the dad to push you, but you're going to go into something. But here's what I want to tell you. In everything in life, there's a millimeter. Hear me on this one. This is some of the best shit I've ever shared because it was with my daughter. So excuse me for just saying it like it is. I'll swear once in a while here. I said, there is a millimeter between good and great, kiddo. And most people stop between that thin line. I said, you want to start on varsity, don't you? She said, yes. And I said, the thought of you not being good enough makes you think maybe you shouldn't do this. She said, yes. I said, do you know how many people get so close to having a real intimate, compassionate, connected relationship? But it takes that extra work to be in a great relationship. And people don't do it and they settle with good and it could end. Do you know how many people start a business and you know why they fail? Because they were good at it when they started, but now it's getting complex and it's harder and they got to work harder and they got to go deeper and they got to have better focus and they got to say no to the shit that doesn't serve them. And when they have to go from good to great, it's too much work. You know what they do? They settle and stick with that job that they say they should be happy with, but they're not freaking happy. I said, do you know how many people give up on this line between good and great? Kid, you are good. Are you the best in high school? No. But your coach says you could be. Because I said, your biggest curse is your natural talent. You're so damn good because you're naturally good. But you're only going to get great when you step up your practices, when you take uncomfortable action, when you don't listen to that shit-ass voice inside of you that's calling you an imposter, that the other girls are better, when you stop listening to self-doubt, when you stop thinking that you're not good enough, when you don't listen to the naysayer, you don't listen to that inner voice and you say, yes, it's going to take me work to go from good to great, That's the difference that's where bliss is. That's where abundance lives. That's where happiness lives. That's where you live in your full potential. That's where you get celebrated in public for what decisions we make in private. I swear to God on my life, no hyperbole, this is the exact conversation I had with my daughter. I said, you will walk off the pitcher's mound in 11th and 12th grade, maybe not 10th, as probably the best or top 1 or 2 pitchers on your high school team if you know the difference between good and great and realize a lot of people can do good. Most people aren't willing to do what it takes to be great. I swear on my life, I tell you these stories and a lot of this practice I do with my daughter. She got back in the car after practice. I said, so what do you think? Do you want to switch this team? She goes, oh no, I'm past that, Dad. I'm going all in. I'm going to start this year. And she's already scheduled 3 appointments, and she's like, you can't catch me for all of them. I'll have my license. She has her license in 10 days. She's like, I'm just going to drive myself to practice. Yeah, exactly, Sarah. She goes, I'm just going to drive myself to practice. I'm going to practice 3 days a week, twice with a coach, once on my own, and then 2 days with my team. So that's 5 days a week, and I'm going to make varsity, and I'm going to start this year. And I know my daughter, when she says shit, she doesn't mess around. Like, I have goosebumps, if anybody could tell. How lucky is my daughter that I had to screw up my childhood, that I had to be obsessed on personal development for the last 40 years of my life, that I get to have those conversations with her, right? Because I think what she wanted me to say is, no way, you are sticking in softball. I think that, honestly, deep down, I think she wanted me to say that so she could fight with me on why she should quit. When I gave her back the power, she really doesn't want to quit. And Nora and Christina and Carolyn, aren't there times, and Lillian and Neil, aren't there times when we're going into our next level or starting this business or the next business or scaling? Aren't there times where we go, I just don't know if I'm cut out for this. I don't know. This is a little scary. I'm too old for this. I'm too young for this. I'm not sure this will work where I live. It's so much work to do it. And what do? We go back and we settle with the man or the woman we used to be. And that's not who we're meant to be. None of us want to be at the end of our lives and think we played small. I could have played varsity, but it was going to take an extra practice or 2 a week. Really? Here's what I know about my daughter, and maybe I can ask this about you. My daughter loves softball. She loves winning games. She loves being the damn center of attention that the whole freaking game revolves around her. Believe me, I'm just being honest, she freaking loves it. Could you imagine her at 50 years old and someone say, oh, how'd you do in softball? She has 2 stories. Oh, I had a blast. I played since 10. I started pretty much in JV. I started 13 out of 15 games my daughter started last year. She played the full game, start to finish. She pitched 13 of their 15 games last year. Could you imagine her telling her 14-year-old or 15-year-old daughter, yeah, I practiced forever with your grandfather. I played in travel teams, and then I played high school, but around 10th grade, it seemed like a lot of work to get a little better, so I just quit. It was all right. I gave up on it, but do you think that's a story you want to tell your children? Or does she want to tell her children, in 10th grade, I thought about quitting. Then I thought to myself, no, if I really want to go deep, if I really want that outcome, if I really want to start in varsity, if I want to win those games, I knew I had to go all in. It was kind of tough, kind of annoyed me, but I sacrificed in certain areas, but I had this amazing high school career. What my daughter wants when she's in the space that she's in right now, she does not want to play in college. She wants to enjoy college. She has 2 older friends that went to college and played, and they said they enjoyed it, but it dominated their whole 4 years in college. My daughter wants, ready for this one? She wants to do so good in high school that she gets colleges to make her offers so she could say no. If that's what she wants, Tammy, I see you laughing. But isn't that a great goal to have? Wouldn't she be awesome to tell her daughter in 30 years from now or 20 years from now, I had 19 different schools that wanted me. I said no, and I went and had a blast in college. Or does she want to say, I kind of gave up in 10th grade because it got a little tough, and man, I kind of regret it. I wish I would have played in high school. I share that story that seems like it took too long to tell. But don't all of us have those moments where settling's easier? Compromising our goals is easier? Listening to self-doubt is easier? Don't we all have that? So maybe in a moment like this, that what I just shared is the simplest, so duh, that's what everybody should do. But do we do it? I'm telling a 16-year-old when I know shit like that has held me back as an adult. So maybe this is the time of year to reshift and refocus and say, no, I am scared. I do feel like an imposter sometimes. Getting great at this or going all in is not comfortable, but I am going to take uncomfortable action. I'm going to be disturbed with inaction, because the only way you get from where you are to where you want to be is to do something different than you did last year. The same person doing the same thing will get you the same result. We must take, and this is today's 10 quick things. We must gain next level capabilities. True? We must have next level thinking. True? We must take next level uncomfortable action. I like to put the word uncomfortable because new action is always uncomfortable. Is that true? Do we have to take next level uncomfortable action with next level thinking and next level skills to get what we're all here for? Next level results. I'm just going to be honest with you. If anybody thinks you can skip the first three and just get next level results just by showing up, man, I'm the wrong guy. I'll just be honest with you. I don't have any promises of magical money machines. I don't have a magic easy button that you hit it and just money shows up in your mailbox. There's a lot of people online that claim that shit. And I just don't, I think if you wanted to hear their crap, you'd be listening to them. I hope you can respect the fact that we got to roll up our sleeves and do the work. But you don't have to do it alone, right? We get to be a community. We get to be a great group. You get to have all the assets in mastermind.com, the other assets, learning from other people, mentors. We get to model success, but we got to do the work. So who's ready to do the work so we can crush 2023? Right? I see you, Robel. Is that Robel? Robel Zello. All right, so today I want to talk about building that next level muscle. And I went back today and I'm like, you want to know the truth? I keep all of my journals. Something I want to share with you. I journal every day. I use it as my to-do list, my journal. I use it for everything. But all of my presentations, like my inner circles, my live events, if I speak at UPW, Tony's Unleashed Power Within, or at Business Master, I speak at our events or our combined events or a challenge. I keep all my journals of past presentations separate. So I have like 100 journals in my home office from over the years, but I have about 20 of all my presentations. So sometimes when I get to this time of year, I go back to last year, the year before, the year before, the year before of what I was doing in November, and I look in my journals. And I'm like, what moved the needle that year the most? What are some of the things that I did to prepare? What did I do to share with other people so they could prepare? So I hope you know I don't want to raise my hand every time, but I'm not kidding you. Last night, I got up early this morning and wrote all this down, but last night I went through all my old journals. And I'm like, oh, I like that one. I like that one. I like that one. I was all the way back to 2019 last night looking. So the 10 things I want to solve today, and I'm going to do this. They're in no particular order, but to me, it's how you get next level emotional stability, next level thinking, next level drive, next level capabilities, next level action, getting ready for a rolling start. So in no particular order, just my favorite 10. You guys ready? And then I know I have some amazing people that will write down these as we go, and you can put them in the chat. I know my team will, but if anybody else wants to write them in the chat, or you can put them in your journal. Number 1, solve bigger problems in 2023. Solve bigger problems. So this one's been really important to me for a long time. So many times I'll meet somebody who wants more success, and they say to me, I can't wait to have more success so I can just get rid of all the problems. Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert. Problems just get bigger. They don't go away. We don't want to get successful to avoid problems. We want to get better so we can handle bigger ones. Think about that. Some of you know that. Maybe you need to hear it today. We do not want to get successful to avoid problems. We want to, as Jim Rohn says, for things to get better, we have to get better. We have to get better at handling bigger problems. So when a problem comes up, you go, I got this one, bring it to me. Not, oh, I can't get this one. Because here's what I know. When I did some of my first real estate deals 20-something years ago, man, it was a heavy lift to make $5,000. Oh my God. What I had to go through and the stress and the worry and trying to get it done and get it done under budget and get it sold and go through the closing process and juggling credit cards to make the deal happen. Man, it was stressful and it was big problems to solve to make $5,000, which is amazing. Here's what I realized. It's the same energy to close a $5 million deal and a $50 million deal. It's the same. It's the same. So if I'm going to solve problems, the bigger the problems you solve, the more success you have. If you don't want to solve any problems, zero, you could go get a 9-to-5 job working maybe in an assembly line where every day you do the same thing. I take this bolt, I put it on this nut, and I tighten it. Zero problems to solve. Is that what you want? Does anybody want that? And would you do that for even a lot of money? Would anybody do it for 150 grand a year, just sit on an assembly line and go, oh, I take this, I put it here. Okay, I take this, I put it here. I take this, I put it here. Would any of you do that? There's probably no amount of money for you to do that. But man, to go invent the assembly line, that's a pain in the ass. Invent innovation, flow, what it looks like, how fast it moves, efficiency and effectiveness. That's the creative juices that keep us alive. Someone solved the problem of the assembly. The guy's a multimillionaire. The person who has no problems goes, I hate this freaking job every day. At night falls asleep like, oh, I'm putting nuts on bolts every night. Ah! Right? If we want more success, we do not want to avoid problems. We become a problem lover. Christina said it perfectly. We just want to solve bigger problems. How's that for a shift in your mindset? I have developed this skill. I am not perfect at it. I don't like confrontation. But I think if you got to my team, it's like, you got a problem, you bring it to Dean. I literally love when people are dealing with shit that's a big problem to solve. I'm telling you, the bigger problem you solve, the more money comes to you. It's as simple as that. So, in 2023, why don't we look for less problems? Why don't we get bigger skills to solve more problems? You know, who in here has ever gone to go to the next lane in a multi-lane road, and you looked in the mirror? They call it your blind spot for a reason, right? You looked in the mirror, and then you peeked over your shoulder, you didn't see a car, and you start going over with your blinker on, and somebody beeps at you, they were hiding there. Who's done that before, right? Okay, a couple of you are lying, but it's okay. You're the perfect driver, I'm not, okay? And when I do that, I'm like, oh my God, I'm so sorry, and the person is like, double finger, screaming, wanting to drive over and fist fight you, I immediately have a thought of like, I'm so sorry. Your whole life is screwed. Because if that's the biggest problem you have today, if because I swerved over 3 inches that you got to give me the double finger, tell me F you, and you want me to pull over to fight you, if that's your biggest problem, you don't need me to give you the finger back. You're already screwed. Your whole life is screwed. Did you ever see anybody that orders medium well steak and it comes medium and they lose their shit? I know in my head. Can I just swear? Do you guys... You're fucked. Excuse my language. I'll never say that word again. It's a bad one. But you're screwed. When I see people screaming at a waiter because they ordered medium rare and they brought them well done, oh my God, solve bigger problems. You're focusing on the shit that does nothing for anyone except frustrate everybody, right? So think about that. The next time, like literally I'm at a space in my life where if I order a medium rare steak and they bring me well done chicken, I just eat it. Who cares? I like chicken. It's okay. Right? I want to solve bigger stuff that changes the world, that impacts people. Solve bigger problems. Change your life. Sorry about the F-bomb. I'll try not to do that anymore. Can't do it at home anymore. I got no place to do it. So my inner circle family, sorry. You guys are getting it. Thanks, Annie Boone. She said that shit doesn't bother me. Okay, number 2. And you got number 1? Solve bigger problems. Number 2, serve greater, deeper, and care more than ever before. Serve greater, deeper, and care more than ever before. Why do I say that? I'm here with you today. Before I start, and some of you just joined, and I love pushing people to take action. I'm glad you're here. If you weren't here, there's a lot of people that should have joined Inner Circle, should have joined mastermind.com, and they didn't. They don't get this today. They're out on their own trying to figure this shit out, worrying about they're yelling at their medium rare chicken, right, or steak, right? They're not gaining these capabilities. They don't have access to this, and now they're trying to figure that shit out on their own. They're not here with us. I care. I have fallen in love with my client. That sounds kind of creepy, but it does. I've fallen in love with what you guys are, what you guys strive for, what you need, and I want to deliver. I obsess on this training. You see my notes. I'm not just like, hey, good to see you. Let's just have everything I do, I think through because I want to serve more, greater, deeper, and care more than ever before. And here's the thing. You need to care more now because people need the better version of you now. Can we agree this world is pretty effed up right now? Look at that. I said effed up. I didn't say the word. But can we agree? Can we agree that we have politicians and media telling us how much different we are than each other when I believe we're way more alike than anybody could ever imagine? I believe that 90% of us, if we were all in one big room, could find a way to love common things, to care about similar things. Of course, there's people on the fringe, but that's not the way the world presents it, right? We're supposed to hate each other. If we don't agree, we should hate each other. God, isn't that just unbelievable? And then combine that with record high inflation and a recession looming. It's a crazy time in history. So if we really have hearts and we have empathy and compassion, shouldn't this be a time just in general that we care more, we serve more, and we deliver a better product? Isn't that true? Right? I know this group. You wouldn't be here with me if you found something in me or from Tony that you like. Then we're kindred spirits. But if you fall in love with your clients and you fall in love with their future and you fall in love with what you do and you know that people need the best version of you, the byproduct, ready for this one? The byproduct of caring, hear me, is that you fall in love with marketing and sales. See, I pushed hard this week for people to take Black Friday so they could be a part of Mastermind, so they could be here. I wasn't like, oh, I got to send an email, and what if they get mad I'm selling? No, I'm upset for the people who almost clicked, and they're not here today because they're out there trying to do it on their own. Because I fell in love with them. I fell in love with the outcome I know I can get them. Rebel, you're in financial education. People without you are going to be screwed if they try to figure it out on their own. When do I invest? Do I pull my money out of my 401k right now because it's so low? Or no, do I leave it in and it'll hopefully go back? Or no, do I put it out and try to put it into crypto? Oh my God, I don't know what to do. That's the disservice. The disservice is not selling them. The disservice is not serving them. The disservice is not selling. The disservice isn't selling them. The disservice is not selling them. Because without you, they're screwed. With you, they get to do it with somebody. When you believe that, when you know that, marketing and sales becomes the easiest thing on the planet. You guys hear me on that? So number 2, care more. Number 3, be brave, be bold, be courageous. You ready for a big one? Be brave, be bold, be courageous. I'm going to share one that's going to hit some of you. Stop waiting for permission. Stop. Today. Stop for waiting for people to go, oh, I see your dreams. It is so awesome. Go for it. They don't have your dreams. They don't have your goals. They don't think like you. That's okay. You could still love them. Him, her. Stop waiting for permission because you may never get it. The only person you need permission from is you. Ready for the second part of this? Stop dimming your glow to match the people around you. Stop dimming your glow to match the people around you. Trent Shelton, who's become a dear friend of mine for, goddamn, almost a decade now, he said it great. He was on stage. If you guys were at the World Summit, for those of you that were, he said, you're expecting someone to see through your glasses. This is your prescription. It's your prescription. When you see clearly where you're going. Give this to somebody else that's nearsighted. When you're farsighted, it's blurry. Of course it's like, this is weird. Of course it's weird to them. It's not their glasses. Do not expect people to see your vision or your goals because God or the universe, whatever you believe in, gave them to you. So be brave, be bold, be courageous. The world, your family, needs the best version of you today than ever before. So stop messing around. Stop waiting for all the stars to align. Who's a parent? Raise your hand if you're a parent. I get to see hundreds of you. Look at all the parents here. Is there really ever a perfect time to be a parent? Like, let's just be honest. It is absolutely insane. Ready for this one? For those of you who know, I have a 14 and a 16. Didn't realize teenage years, you are just a taxi service racing all over the place. And I have a 2.5-year-old and a 4-week-old. I don't sleep. And when I'm picking my daughter up at 11 o'clock because that's her curfew, I come home at 12 o'clock. My daughter's up screaming, wants milk. And then my son gets up at 6 o'clock and says, Daddy, let's play. It is insane. There is never a perfect time to have a child. Is that true? What sleep? But it's the greatest thing in the history of the world. And I would do it all over again 1,000,000 times. Stop waiting for the perfect time. If you waited for the perfect time to have a child, you would never have one. If you wait for the perfect time to launch or scale the thing that's in your heart, there will never be a perfect time. When is the best time to plant a tree? When's the best time to plant a tree? I've said this 1,000,000 times. Yep, actually, I went too quick. Best time is 20 years ago, 10 years ago. Second best time is right now, right? Stop waiting. You may never get the approval of the people you love, no matter what you say. But the greatest thing is, as Frank Sinatra says, the greatest revenge is just success. Not that you want to get revenge on the people you love, but instead of talking about it and wanting them to improve, just go out and kick some ass, and your light will shine so bright they'll be attracted to it. Okay? Number 4, focus more on solutions. I know you probably do, or you wouldn't be here with me, but focus more on solutions. We have evolved, I feel, and maybe I could just be getting older, but I feel like we're in a place, raise your hand if you agree with me that we are in a place of blame more than ever before. It's the liberals, it's the conservatives, it is the left, it is the right, it is the media, it is the politicians, it is the people who live here, it's the people that are rich, it's the people that are poor, it's the people who are lazy and don't work. We live in a world where everybody's pointing fingers. No one takes personal responsibility for shit anymore. If my life isn't what I want it to be, that is on me. There's nobody, I don't care if you hate, listen, who lives here in the States? If you live here in the States, no matter where you live, our last president was Donald Trump. Half of you hate him, half of you like him. Our current president, Biden, half of you hate him, half of you like him. I don't give a shit, but has either one of them done anything for you personally? Has either one of them waved a magic wand and got your shit lined up? Be truthful. And whoever the next one is, are they going to do shit for your life? Can we be honest? No, I'm sorry if I'm the first one telling you this. I hope I didn't ruin your dreams. No one is coming to save you. Sorry. Ain't nobody coming. No magic money machines. No magic president or Congress or Senate. Doesn't happen. It's on you. It's all on you. So stop pointing fingers. When shit goes sideways, focus on solutions. How do you learn from it? And how do you focus on solutions? The milk spills, you could say, whose fault is it? Why did it spill? It might stink. Got to buy new milk. You could just go get a towel and a new glass of milk. Seriously. Some of you are still thinking, how did your marriage not work 6 months ago, 6 years ago, and whose fault it was? Or the job, the layoffs that happened, why did they layoff? They didn't raise the money. They didn't focus on marketing. Can you do anything about yesterday? Yesterday is gone. If yesterday is still affecting today, you're screwed. Yesterday has to be research and development on how you could be a better version today, and that's all we have is today. We can't predict the future. We can't redo the past. The only thing we can do is focus on solutions, learn from them, and focus on today. Got it? Number 5, The little things are the big things. The little things are the big things. In everything I realize in life, everybody's looking for the silver bullet. If I do that, the money starts pouring in. If I do that, it'll fix everything. Is there ever one thing that solves everything? I'm giving you 10 things today. These are the little things. They seem like nothing. People say, to be wealthy, Dean, give me that secret on how you got wealthy. Want to know something? I am. How about that one? I am. These are the little things that added up, the compound effect, right, Brooke? These are the little things that added up to the big things. That I could stand up and be courageous, that I could fail and keep moving forward, that I could solve bigger problems, that I could serve through my heart so it makes me sell better, that I could be brave and bold and move forward when most people are scared. Most people are waiting for permission. Most people focus on whose fault it is while I'm focused on what can I learn and how do I solve this problem. And the little things are the big things. Think about it. Your morning routine seems like a little thing. Is it? If you get up and stare at your phone and look at the news and think about all the negativity, you play a whole day in defense. Get up, practice a little gratitude, pray, read, work out, have a green drink, do something that makes you feel good. Man, you kick ass of the day. Seems like a little thing. It's actually a big thing, isn't it? Right? Hang around with negative people in your life. Say, Michael Archer, dude, you're a dreamer, man. Come on, you should be happy with where you're at. You got all kinds of success. Why aren't you happy where you're at? Let that sink in for a couple months. It's a little thing. It becomes a big thing when you go, yeah, maybe I should be happy with where I'm at. The little things are the big things. What are the disciplines? What's the focus time? Saying no when you need to say no. These are all little decisions, but they all build. They're all cumulative. So if you just acknowledge that the little things are the big things, everything changes. Little choices, little decisions, little disciplines, little routines, little habits cumulatively add up. If you say, oh, it's a little, I'm just going to have this little habit of every time something goes sideways, I'm going to focus on how to solve it. Every time I'm scared, I'm going to shift to be brave. Whenever I think of selling, I think of serving. Whenever a problem comes up, I'm going to say, shit, this one ain't nothing. I could solve bigger problems than this. They're all little, aren't they? But how do you think they add up when you stack them up? It's pretty big, isn't it? Right? Okay, number 6. This one, it's going to show you my brilliance. You ready for this one? Look at what's worked in your life. What's the second part of that? Look at what's worked in your life. Oh, look at Georgia, Lillian, Deborah, and do more of it. Look what's worked in your life and do more of it. How many times do we start our business and we get a little momentum or something in our relationship? Like, every time I tell my husband, I'm grateful for all that he does. Every time I look in my wife's eyes and say, hey, I just want you to know I'm really listening to you. Wait a minute. I'm going to shut my phone off because I can tell this is important to you. What'd you have to say, hon? Every time I do that, oh my God, my wife freaks out and we actually have a really good night. Why am I not doing that 7 days a week? Like, we have things that are really good in our lives and we don't do them enough. So, one of these little habits, the little thing that's a big thing, start noticing what works in your life, in your business, in your marketing, sales, and do more of it. Sounds stupid simple, but we're not doing enough of that. Number 7, I know it's simple, right? Number 7, well, it's the complete opposite. Brilliance number 7. Look at what's not working in your life and do less of it. Yeah, Sarah Cole, right? As simple as that sounds, some of you are still going to lunch once a week with someone who makes you feel shitty about your dreams. Some of you are still trying to convince your husband why it would be cool to do what you want to do, even though it doesn't get you anywhere except to fight. I don't know. What did Einstein say the definition of insanity was? Right? You guys know it. Same thing over and over, expecting a different result. If there is something you do that doesn't make you feel like the man or the woman you're supposed to be, if there's something you do that doesn't serve you, God, the universe, the success you want, if there's something you do that you're like, it just doesn't match with my values anymore, then here's my advice. Stop. Stop doing it. I know it sounds so simple. Even though that's simple, who knows? Raise your hand right now or put yes in the chat if you know you got to do this. You have to identify the things that don't serve who you want to be now. Because the things that you do sometimes, Joseph Harvey, I see you, man. Georgina and Georgia, I see you. Sometimes we did something in a certain phase of our lives and it fit us in our 20s, or it fit us in our 30s, or it fit us in our 40s, but it doesn't fit the man or woman you want to be today. So we have to recognize that and just stop freaking doing it. All of us have habits. I see it's a bad habit, right? I see Lori, you said, all of us have habits. That's a fact. I wrote a book on habits. But it doesn't mean all of our habits serve us. So what habits do you need to say no to and replace them with habits that change your life? Okay, number 8. Now this one's going to sound like this is going upstream one notch from number 6 and 7. Number 8 is think of the strongest belief or the thought or the story. The belief, the story, the thought, whatever, we all have different terminology, something that loops in your head. Think of the one that when you think about it or say it, you feel invincible. I'm meant for more. I'm meant for more. I could do more. I could be more. I know I failed in the past, but all that is research and development to be the man or the woman I'm supposed to be. I feel it. I know I can do it. I've accomplished a lot. I can do this. Right? There's those feelings, those thoughts we have where you feel on fire. You feel invincible. Do those thoughts make you feel good? Do those thoughts make you feel empowered? Do those thoughts make you have more confidence? Before confidence, screw confidence. Before confidence comes courage. You don't get confidence unless you have the courage to actually do it, right? So what are the thoughts? Tell me in here, what's a thought you have or a story you have that makes you feel courageous? What's a thought you have that makes you feel brave? You can put it in the chat, put it in your journal, right? What makes you feel brave? What makes you feel alive? What makes you feel like an invincible, unstoppable woman? What makes you feel like a courageous man? Right? Somebody wrote, I survived. I can only imagine what that means, Sonia. I'm glad you did. Right? If those thoughts, if that thinking makes you feel courageous and brave and gets you to move, gets you disturbed with inaction, then why aren't you having those thoughts more? Why aren't you writing them down on your mirror in your bathroom or putting them as your screensaver or set an alarm in your phone 3 times a day and it rings? You know, you could set an alarm in your iPhone, I know at least, where when it goes off, you could write words in it. So whatever that thought is, I'm invincible, I survived, I'm nonstop. I can do anything I put my mind to. Why not have your alarm go off 3 days a week and freaking remind you of that? Why not? How often do we have to sell ourselves to reach our goals? Like pretty much every day. So what are the thoughts that make you feel empowered? Not only have more of them, how do you remind yourself to have more of them? Make sense? And you're already figuring out my patterns here. What's number 9? Number 9 is what are the thoughts, the beliefs, or the story that disempowers you? That fuels imposter syndrome, that fuels self-doubt. You know how many women I've met and they'll say, I just felt like I was really good at being a stay-at-home mom. And I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? I was home this weekend for the holiday. I was home Saturday all day and I said to my wife, let's not have any help, anybody, or let's just be with our kids. I got done with the day. I'm like, holy shit, I'd love to start 7 more businesses than try. Like, I could never stay home with just my 2 children. I am humanly not qualified. I run 2 businesses, 400 employees. I get to do all this stuff. I could never be a kick-ass stay-at-home mom. That is like, I'm only a stay-at-home mom. Are you kidding me? That is the hardest job in the history of the world, and with the least amount of thank yous. Like, it is the most selfless act that exists. But is that your belief? I'm just a stay-at-home mom. I'm just a worker bee. Like, I'm just a guy that, I do my job good, but that's good. Or I'm too old for this shit. You got to be good on technology. Or I'm too young. Who would believe me? I'm not an expert. I don't have a following. You know how hard it is to get a following on social media these days? And you don't do shit without a following. So I should just be lucky with where I'm at. Or mine, when I was a kid, when I was 15, I used to think, man, it takes money to make money. I was born on the wrong side of the tracks. I can't be successful. You gotta be rich. You gotta go to school. You gotta have credentials. I barely got out of high school. Who the hell is gonna how could I start a business? I don't know which story you have, but you have one. It's already cost you way too much. You know that. You've already missed opportunities because of it. So why the hell are you listening to it? It's already screwed you over. It's not your friend. It's not your safety mechanism. Stop telling yourself that bullshit. It's not your safety mechanism. It's your insecure subconscious getting you to play small so you don't take risks. We all have it. We all have that voice. But why the hell are you listening to it? So why not take the time to recognize what is that belief, that story, or that thought that gets you stuck? And ready for this deep wisdom? Don't believe it. It's bullshit. But call it out when you hear it. Call it out when you feel it. Don't let it hold you back anymore. Remember I told you, flick that voice off your shoulder. I like that, Earl. Remember I said the little things are the big things? See what I'm talking about right now? These seem like little things, but how are they feeling collectively? Claudia, how are they feeling collectively? How are they feeling, Tara? Right? Okay. And number 10. Ready for the drum roll? Number 10. And I've shared this a lot with you guys. Those of you new to our family, welcome. So good to have you as part of this, inner circle that's a part of Mastermind. Number 10, remember, Tony calls it the tyranny of how. How can really screw us over. Like, how do I find the time? How do I get more followers on social? How do I launch my course? How do I get followers? How do I teach when I'm a freaking introvert? How do I use Loom video? How do I use Mastermind and get it? How? How do I get launched? How can screw you over? We all need those capabilities. But replace the word how. Ready for this? You guys know it. Some of you know it. Replace the word how with who. There you go. Who has already been there that would be willing to show me how to get there faster? If I dropped you off in the Amazon and I said, closest town is 10 miles that way. That's pretty scary if somebody pulled away. It's like, 10 miles that way, there's more poisonous stuff in the Amazon than anywhere, right? That's scary and somewhat stupid if, just like 20 feet away, there's someone selling maps and says, oh, I've been through this like 400 times. Here's the map. You just make a left at the big first tree. There's a stream you follow. There's nothing poisonous. It's easy. Then you go through this. Avoid that big cliff because a lot of people fell off. You go around this. It'll take you about, 45 minutes. Here's the map. The how of getting through the 10 miles to the closest village could freak you out, could kill you. Get a map from the who's already done it. You get there quicker. You got to train your brain. When you start getting overwhelmed with how, think who. Right? I'm never going to teach you anything I haven't had as a life experience. I promise you that. So if you say to yourself, well, how do I get better at selling? Well, I could go back to some inner circles that I've taught. Or Brendan, we just put a Brendan Burchard course up on persuasion. It's the last course we put up, right? You might think, oh, how do I get through this or how to get through that? There's going to be a course or a training in Mastermind that I bet you covers about 95%. And if not, then find another who that's already done that, right? You want to learn something, the fastest way to learn is to find somebody who's already done it and model what they do. Modeling is the fastest path to the success you want. Everything we want to do, someone's already done. And here's the cool part about most all of us being in this self-education industry. Somebody else needs you to be their who. Hear me on that one. Somebody else right now, potentially tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of people, need you to be their who, because you've already mapped out a journey that they're looking to start. If you take that analogy of going through the rainforest, there is a lot of people, you're on the other side of that rainforest. You're in the hut, you're in the town. Somebody else, and you don't realize, is standing at the edge of the woods looking for you to give them your map. That's what this industry is. That's why you're a part of this. That's why we're here to serve. That's why we created Mastermind. Get over imposter syndrome. Gain the capabilities from people who've already been there. Take uncomfortable action. Don't judge yourself based on other people. The only person you have to be better than is the person you were last week, last month, last year. This is slow and steady progress. This is us becoming better versions of ourselves. We have to do the work, but we don't have to do it alone. Guys, thank you so much for being a part of this month's Inner Circle. Remember, you have like 4 years worth of these that you can go back to and look at anytime you want. This will be a replay. You could watch this again 100 times if you want. Go check out the courses. All kinds of cool, really amazing stuff coming from Mastermind. Thank you for being a part of our family. Appreciate you so much. I'll see you on Monday. Bye, guys.